Hello students, welcome back to our online bridge course classes. In the previous video, we have discussed the topic that is scalars and vectors and the types of vectors in detail. In this video, we are going to discuss the topics those are definition of optics, basic terminologies that are related to the subject optics, definition of light, properties of light, which are reflection of light, refraction of light, diffraction, dispersion, and interference. Now, let us move to the definition of optics. Students, what is optics? In the previous video, we have already discussed the various branches of physics. So, optics is the one of the main branch in the physics. Optics is nothing but it is the study of light. Also, we have to learn the basic terminologies that are related to the subject optics. The first thing we are going to learn in the optics is ray of light. So, what is a ray of light? Ray means nothing but the path created by the photons. It is defined as the path of the light. The next basic terminology is medium. Medium is defined as the substance that transfers the energy or light from one place to another or from one surface to another. Medium is nothing but the substance which transfers energy, light, or any other particles from one place to another place. For example, water is the medium of waves. Air is the medium through which we can hear sound waves. Hence, air medium, water medium are those substances which transfer energy or light from one place to another place. Water is one medium and air is a different medium compared to the water. Hence, there are different media we are going to learn in this topic. The next basic terminology that is intensity. How you are going to define intensity? It is nothing but the average number of photons that pass through the unit area per unit time. Consider a unit area. The number of particles called as photons which are incident on that unit area per unit time are known as wholly as intensity. You may already know what is a photon. Photon is the smallest particle of the light, which is an energy packet. So the number of photons incident on unit area per unit time is known as intensity. Next, what is incident ray? An incident ray is a ray of light that strikes a surface. Incident, which is on a surface. Reflected ray, a ray of light which is thrown back from the surface. If a ray is incident on a surface, then if that ray is thrown back from that surface, that ray of light is known as reflected ray. Next, what is angle of incidence? It is the angle between normal and the ray of light or incident ray. Normal here is nothing but perpendicular to the surface. Consider a surface and normal it is the perpendicular to the surface, and an incident ray is considered with respect to the normal. The angle between that incident ray and the perpendicular is known as angle of incidence. So these are the basic terminologies. Now let us move to the definition of light. Light is a form of energy with which a human eye makes the things visible. With the help of light, we can see the things around us. Hence, light is a form of energy. Light is also known as electromagnetic radiation. It is nothing but an electromagnetic radiation of any wavelength that travels in a vacuum with the speed of 3 lakh meter per second. It is about 1 lakh 86,000 miles per second. As you can see in the picture, this is nothing but the white light having different wavelengths. Now let us learn the different properties of light. The major properties I have listed here are: the first property is that light travels in a straight line, and the speed of the light is about 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So this is the first property of the light, which tells us that the light travels in a straight line. The second property is reflection of light. So reflection of light is nothing but bouncing back of the light in the same medium. If the incident ray in the air medium, then the reflected ray is also in the air medium. Hence, the bouncing of light happens in the same medium. The next property is refraction of light. What is refraction of light? It is nothing but change in the speed of light. The next property is dispersion of light. Dispersion is nothing but the splitting up of a white light ray. The next property is diffraction of light. Diffraction is nothing but the bending of light ray. And the last one is interference of light. Interference is nothing but the modification in the intensity of light. Here, the intensity may increase or decrease. Now, let us discuss these properties of light in detail and one by one. The first property of light is reflection of light. How you are going to understand the reflection phenomena? Reflection is the phenomena in which light is traveling in one medium, incident on the surface of another, and returns to the first medium. Here, the light ray obeys laws of reflection. Reflection of light is the phenomena. It is also known as bouncing back of the light ray to the same medium. If you consider a light ray which is in the air medium and incident on the surface of water medium, if the light ray is reflected, then it returns to the air medium itself. So this phenomena is known as reflection of light. As you can see in the picture, I have differentiated incident ray, normal and reflected ray. You can clearly understand what is angle of incidence and angle of reflection also. So there is a surface on which the incident ray is projected. The incident ray is projected towards the surface and gets reflected to the same medium. The normal here is nothing but the perpendicular to the surface. Angle of incidence is nothing but the angle between normal and the incident ray. Angle of reflection is nothing but the angle between reflected ray and the normal. Here you can see the images of light, reflection of light in our daily life. Reflection of light obeys laws of reflection. There are totally two laws of reflection. The first law of reflection states that the incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal to the surface at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. This is the first law of reflection. You can see in the picture the incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal are in the same plane. The second law of reflection states that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. You can see that the angle of reflection is exactly symmetrical to the angle of reflection, and hence angle of incidence is exactly equal to the angle of reflection. These are the two laws of reflection. Now let us move to the refraction of light. Refraction is a phenomena in which there is a change in the speed of light as it travels from one medium to another medium, and there is bending of the ray of light. The refracted ray obeys the laws of refraction. Here you can see in the first picture, that is, a incident ray is penetrating through the another medium. Say for example, if the incident ray is in the air medium and it is projected on the surface of water medium, it does not reflect it back, but it is penetrated through the water medium. This phenomena is known as refraction. Here there is a change in the speed of light. The light travels from one medium to another medium, hence there is a bending of ray of light. In the second image, you can observe that a pencil is seen as bent. Why? Because this is due to the reason of refraction. There are two laws of refraction. The first one is that the incident ray, the refracted ray, and the normal to the surface at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. The next law is, for the given pair of media And for the light of given wavelength, the ratio of sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction is always constant. This law can be written in the equation that is given by sine I divided by sine R equals to constant. I means angle of incidence, R is the angle of refraction. Sin I by sin R equals to constant. This is the second law of refraction. The third property of light is dispersion of light. The dispersion of light is the phenomena of splitting up of white light into its constituents colors. Dispersion means the white light splits up into 7 different colors. A prism is a transparent glass having two plane surfaces inclined at an angle. When white beam passing through the prism splits into 7 colors, those are violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. So these different 7 colors having different wavelengths. As you can see in the first picture, a white light is incident on the prism. This white light splits up into 7 different colors. Those are called as Vibgyor. The wavelengths respect to the color is mentioned in the picture. An example for the dispersion of light is the formation of rainbow, as you can observe in the second image. The bubbles formed from the soap powder is also an example for dispersion of light. You can observe the 7 colors in the bubble. The next property is diffraction of light. The diffraction of light is the phenomena of bending of light ray around the corners of small obstacles, and hence its encroachment into the region of the geometrical shadow is called diffraction. As you can observe in the image, there is a source of light and the obstacle here is a ball. The light ray is incident on the ball and it is bent around the edges of the ball, and that is projected on the screen. You can observe that there is a geometrical shadow formed on the screen. So this bending of light ray around the edges and the formation of shadow wholly is known as diffraction. In the atmosphere, diffracted light is actually bent around atmospheric particles. Most commonly, the atmospheric particles are tiny water droplets found in the clouds. The last property of light, that is interference of light. Interference is the phenomena of modification in the intensity of light due to redistribution of light energy in the region of superposition of two or more light waves. So, intensity means the number of photons per unit area per unit time. So, there is a change in the intensity of light. The number of photons vary, it may increase, either it may decrease, and hence there is a redistribution of light energy. Superposition is nothing but adding or subtracting of the light waves. There are two types of interference. Those are constructive interference and destructive interference. In case of constructive interference, the two rays add up, which means the intensity of the two rays add up, and hence there is an increase in the intensity. Superposition is nothing but adding or subtracting of the wave in the common language. As you can see in the picture, in the first image, that is in case of constructive interference, the two waves are going to add up, and hence there is an increase in the amplitude and also in the intensity of light. There is an increase in the light energy because of the superposition of the adding of two light waves. In the second image, you can observe the destructive interference. Here, the two waves are going to subtract from each other. Hence, there is a decrease in the amplitude, intensity, and hence the light energy also decreases. This is known as destructive interference. The net effect of the combination of two or more wavelets moving on intersecting or coinciding paths. Hence, interference is nothing but the change in intensity, light energy, and amplitude. Either it may increase or decrease. If the intensity increases, then it is called constructive interference. If the intensity decreases, then it is called as destructive interference. So in this video, we have discussed in detail about the definition of optics, that is, the branch of physics which deals with the study of light. Also, we have discussed the basic terminologies related to the optics. We have defined what is light. Light is a form of energy, enables us to see the things around us. It is also known as electromagnetic radiation. And also, we have discussed in detail the properties of light. Those are reflection, refraction, diffraction, dispersion, and interference. Thank you.